So, anyways, Kwame Brown obviously was not a fan of that. He did the typical, BT, what are you doing? You're brainwashing our kids. And, it's okay if you're gay, but you don't have to kiss. And, he made some comments about the Pride Parade and guys walking with their dick out, not getting a fine for indecent exposure. The typical shit, right? I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
I don't even know. Like Kwame, I don't know, man. Kwame Brown is on a. I watched this 4 minute. Well, it was a 4 minute clip that I sent to you because the full thing is way too long and unnecessary, as most of his rants are.
Right.
But he decided to go off and saying that everywhere that you look, you turn on the TV, you see penis here and guys kissing there. And listen, I listened to his rant. I said, what TV is he watching? What channel is this guy on? And why doesn't he change it? I mean, I'm glad I don't have cable no more, if this is what cable is saying right now, because I'm very confused as to what he's going on. Like, I get the one part that I will agree with him with is the fact that BT is for kids. And as much as being gay and LGBT, as much as it's out there for all that, listen, there's me personally, if I had children, I would not want my children watching that. Me personally. I don't care what anybody says or how they feel about it. I just don't feel like children who aren't aware or understanding of that,
Yeah.
that should be their first introduction into what it is. And especially so highly sexualized in the way that he did it. It wasn't a gentle peck, highly sexualized. You know what I mean? There's going to be discussions that probably need to be had because of that among some parents and some kids, but that shouldn't be because of Lil Nas X. That shouldn't be his choice. BT, that shouldn't be your choice. That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Um. Okay. The Pride Parade, guys with their dicks out. First of all, you shouldn't be bringing your kids to a Pride Parade. Like, guess what? There's R-rated movies. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take my kid to an R-rated movie because it's an
Right, right.
R-rated movie. Additionally, I've been to a Pride Parade. I've been in them. And guess what? It's not just dudes with their dicks out. Girls walk around naked, topless, pussy all out, everything. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear, Auntie, but I'm just to make the point. Additionally, he made a comment that Lil Nas X is being used as a puppet. This is how he is viewing it. And that's fine. You can make that argument. But you also have to understand, which I'm sure he does, there is people in our urban Black community that look like us. And prior to, this type of exposure being, celebrated in the media, things like that, if you look like us and you were gay, that was not a situation that you wanted to find yourself in. So
Right.
the reason why a network like BET, when you say BET's for the kids, they're not, in my opinion, so much trying to, shove it down your throat and trying to convert people into being gay. They're trying to say, if you are gay, it's fine. It's okay to be this way. We're not going to shun you. You wanted to rap. You think you can't rap because you're gay. It's fine. Lil Nas X is rapping. He's gay. It's okay. Additionally, he made another comment about, him kissing, slobbing the guy down on stage. I don't want my kid to see that. I'll just have to say WAP, wet ass pussy. I'll just have to say WAP. Nobody says anything when that happens. What about when two straight people are slobbing each other down on TV?
Listen, no, okay.
Nobody
WAP,
says
okay.
anything about these.
Because you bring up WAP a lot. And I get what you're saying when you bring that song up. Because yes, we all know what the WAP stands for. But I can also say,
it's not about.
hold on. I can also say that there's tons of kids who listen to that song and they have no clue what it's about.
Yeah, but let me make
You
the point.
watch this
No,
on TV,
no,
it's
let me make
very
no, let
blatant.
me make the point. Let me make the point. I'm not talking about the song, the audio. I'm talking about the video. The video is extremely sexual. Extremely sexual. By the way, Nicki Minaj, Meg the Stallion, and who is it? Cardi
Come for
B?
him, Barbs. Come
And
for him,
Cardi B?
Barbs.
Whatever, who
Come
cares?
for him, Barbs.
Meg the Stallion and Cardi B are damn near scissoring in the video. What are we talking about? And when people complain about that, because you better believe there was tons of complaints, Everybody's, taking up for Cardi B and everybody's taking up for Meg Thee Stallion and so on. So as they should. Not saying
Who?
you shouldn't.
Who?
What do you
Who?
mean
But
who?
you see, you're being selective when you say all these people. Not all, not most people were not just standing up. It was all these women power, and that because that was at the time when Meg Thee Stallion was popping hot, Sweetie was popping hot, and they were passing the message that you can be a boss and all these things. So women were on their horses saying, "Listen, if men can do it." If men could be highly sexual, why can't women do it? That's
I'm
the
t-
only.
I'm I'm
That's the group
talking.
that supported the
Yeah,
video.
but I'm talking about Kwame Brown. Right? That's who I'm talking about. He's the one who decided to make these statements, right? So what I'm trying to say is you can't if you want to take a stance on, something that's inappropriate, overly sexual, that's cool because you're talking about your kids and you could take that stance, but you got to take the stance all the way around. He made a comment saying, "Oh, you're not going to see me gyrating and tonguing it." Dude, you're like 50. You know what I'm saying? Like Lil Nas X, I don't know, he's probably like early 20s. Bro, if you, I mean my guy, if you were like 18, 17, early 20s, and you were a massive celebrity and insanely rich, and you had the dopest girls around you, you're probably going to be grabbing and da-da-da. And PDA is for young people. Kwame
Yeah, but
Brown's an old
I'm not gonna be
man.
making I'm not gonna be making music videos with that. I'm not gonna be doing all that. No, 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 no. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
well,
You're not.
maybe,
I just it's for me. For me, come on now. Come on
maybe,
now. Come on
maybe,
now.
maybe.
That was too much. We talk which little you forget, right? Because listen, I'm not just counting this one thing when I talk about Lil Nas X. I'm counting all the shit that he's done total. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about grinding on the devil. I'm talking about making the demon shoes. I'm talking about everything. And at this point, the man is using his sexuality and his color for his own selfish reasons and exploiting so many avenues just for notoriety. If you think for 1 second that this man did this just to send a message as opposed to I know that if I do this I'm going to go super viral, you're crazy. You're
First of all,
crazy.
okay,
You're crazy.
first of all, you would be crazy to think otherwise. It's all about shock value.
Okay. Well,
This
then
is
that doesn't make
this
it
is
okay then.
no, what let
That's
me
what makes it wrong.
no, let me finish what I'm saying. I'm not saying what he was doing was right. I'm talking about Kwame Brown. That's all I'm
Yes,
talking
I
about.
know.
And I'm
I
talking
know.
about how hypocritical he is in his reaction to this. Like I said, if you want to take a stance, on behalf of children, on behalf of your son and what your kids are being exposed to, it's got to be all the way around or not at all. You can't have it both ways. We already talked about Lil Nas X. I
Where
totally
did Kwame Brown say that he agreed with the WAP song or something like that? Am I missing something?
no. What I'm saying though is he was
So
so
where is he flip flopping?
what I'm saying is he was so anti what he was seeing at the BET Awards, specifically about the Lil Nas X performance. The piece that the section there is like 4 minutes,
Yeah.
like maybe 3.5 minutes was dedicated to how disgusted he was at that performance. He mentioned violence and twerking once. And when I say once, I mean the words. It's not like he had a phrase or a comment or he provided context. He said violence and twerking. And then the rest of it was just about the stuff that Lil Nas X was doing. What I'm saying is if you are against it, let it be against it equally. You can't have a 4 minute rant on, stuff that's inappropriate for children and then spend of that 4 minutes, like 3 minutes and 45 seconds against one thing that was gay and then the other 15 seconds on violence and no, it's got to be
So you're trying to
even,
say that
right
he was
across the
focused
board.
that you're trying to say that he was focused on the fact that it was just the fact that it was two guys kissing. That's the only thing that he
100%,
was focused on.
100%. And guess what? That's my interpretation of his reaction, and I think my interpretation of his reaction is fair because, like I said, if you have a 4 minute reaction video and 3.5 to 3 minutes and 45 seconds is solely based around Lil Nas X, and you spend the other 15 seconds on violence and twerking, clearly you have a bigger problem with the gay part of it. Clearly.
Well, I mean, do I agree with everything Kwame Brown said? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I disagree. I don't think he focused strictly on the kiss because I was listening to the same rant that you listened to, and he brought up the fact that Lil Nas X had demon shoes and all the other things that Lil Nas X was doing. So he was also focused on the fact that Lil Nas X specifically is aiding in passing these false messages for his own selfish purposes by doing shocking things like this. That's what he's getting at. He's like, Lil Nas X is only doing these things to shock and awe, and he's using these things, and I don't know if he said African culture, but I know a lot of people are saying he's using the African culture as well. But there's things that he is doing, like real life, that I have to agree with on that aspect, which is what I was saying outside of this performance, that are not for the right reasons. If he was doing this genuinely, I wouldn't say nothing.
Well, guess what? I'm talking about Kwame Brown's reaction to this performance. And by the way, Kwame Brown also said that he's being used as a puppet to try to convert little black boys into, it's the same narrative that we've heard a million times. All I'm saying is that could be true. That could be true. I don't know. Right. But what I'm saying is, if you are against this type of imagery, it should be right across the board. When you zero in like that, I take issue with it. You know what I'm saying? I just do, because it's like, because it's two dudes kissing. But if it's two straight people slobbing it down and your 2-year-old or your 4-year-old is watching it, that's okay too. You understand what I'm saying? It should. If you're,
I get what you're saying.
All right, sorry, there we go. You know,
Kwame, I get what you're saying 100%. Yeah. It doesn't make it right. You're saying it's just because it's two dudes and da 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 da. And I started off by saying, listen, if it's my kid, I don't want my kid watching two dudes kissing on TV. That's just how I feel.
Look, if it's my kid, I don't want her at the age she's at. I don't want her seeing any of that on TV. Doesn't matter if it's two dudes, it's two women, it's a boy and a girl. I don't want her seeing any of that. It's too early for her to be exposed to things like that. She can't make sense of it because the brain is not developed there.
Hey, listen, call you anything. No, because I feel like, you know, I'm also like, I'm with Kwame Brown on that. Like, I'm with Kwame Brown on that. I don't want my kids seeing that. And it's the kiss, it's two guys kissing specifically, that I also have a problem with. Of course, I tied the other things into it too, but that in that instance, that performance, I have an issue with that. And you could call me primitive. You could say I need to develop. I don't care, man. This is me. It's not
about being primitive. It's not about needing to upgrade your software to get like everybody else. It's not about that. What it's about is you live in an urban city, and guess what? They don't need to turn on the TV to see something like that. So the reason why these things are being, in his words, pushed, it's about exposure. It's not about warping your mind. It's about exposure. So if you see it on a television screen and you got mom or dad next to you, mom or dad can react and they could talk to you if you have questions, or they could even explain it in real time. Whereas then your child has zero exposure to it. Now they're out at school or they're with their friends or whatever like that. And then they see it happen, and their friend, this is worst case scenario, their friend reacts to it in a negative way, to the point of violence, because that's how they were brought up. Now, I would ask you, even though you don't agree with it, you don't want your kid to be exposed to that, would you want your kid to act violent towards a same-sex couple? I'll answer the question for you. No, but
obviously,
of course, but if your kid has no idea how to react to something like that, and their friends see it, and because of how they were brought up, they're reacting violent, guess what your kid's probably going to do? This is what I'm saying. So
right, but then that's when you have a discussion. I mean, that's when you have a discussion.
After some same-sex couple gets beat up, you have the discussion afterwards.
No, if my kid, if you're talking about, listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying. You're saying if my kid is there and they're not familiar with what this situation is, and they see it, and there's other kids there, and those kids' reactions is violence, so they follow those kids with the same type of violence. Do I get mad at the kid? We have a discussion, because at that point, I'm saying the kid doesn't understand what they were seeing. They reacted based on what they saw other people doing, which was wrong.
Wonderful.
You sit down, you have a discussion.
You have a discussion. You do realize that what they just committed was a hate crime, right?
Listen, that's exactly why I feel like it's dangerous. So now you see why I feel like it's dangerous to expose kids.
No, it's not. It's about having the conversation.
Because
so
that shouldn't be anybody's first. How is that anybody? That shouldn't be anybody's first reaction.
Listen,
that's top behavior.
Bingo. Did you not hear what I just said? What I'm saying to you, my guy, is if this imagery is on TV, the same kiss with Lil Nas X, you have one household here, one household here. Both kids say, Dad, what's that? This dad here says, hey, son, what they're doing is wrong. We don't believe in that, da 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 da, but that's them. Let them do that. When we see it, we just keep it moving. We keep walking. That's not for us. This dad over here says, that's crazy. We don't do that. That's evil. And when we see it, we knock them out because we don't support that. You get me? Taught your own words. So if there's no conversation had at all, now your son, hypothetically, knows nothing about this, and they're with the kid who was taught to beat the crap out of them, and they don't know different. You want to have a conversation after they commit the hate crime? So I understand when people say there's a narrative to convert, but I personally think it's about exposure and understanding and giving the parent or the legal guardian or whatever the opportunity to have the conversation. And you can have the conversation any way you want. It's your kid. You could tell them to beat them up. That's totally wrong. You're going to deal with the repercussions. You could say whatever you want to say, but it at least gives you as a parent the chance to put some context around it. That's all I'm saying.
I don't want to have the conversation as a result of a Lil Nas X performance. That's what I'm saying. So I should be able to have that conversation when I want to have that conversation, when I feel like it's necessary, not because my kids saw Lil Nas X making out with some guy on TV. Cool. Okay. In my house.
Well, so. Viewing public, what are your thoughts? Viewing and listening public, what are your thoughts here? Kwame Brown, Lil Nas X, slobbing it down with a dude. Listen, and to be clear,
that came out wrong. You just went Lil Nas X, Kwame Brown, slobbing it down with a dude.
You get it.
That's not what happened.
All right, that's not what happened, but it could have been. Who knows? But the point is, I'll say this: if you've seen our other videos on Lil Nas X, you know I'm not a fan of Lil Nas X and his personal agenda, not this agenda to convert, his personal agenda. I'm not a fan.
Right.
Okay. But this here to me is bullshit. Sorry to curse, Auntie. I apologize. I'm working on it. But
Auntie, we're working on it. It's just the first episode that we're doing this. So, if you're listening, I hope you are. I'm gonna tell you to listen. Just excuse some of the curse words that we use. We're working on it, okay?
We're trying.
We'll get it down.
Leave it in the comments, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe. What are your thoughts on this, man? It's a real conversation that's being had. It's not just in Black households. It's not just in Spanish or brown or Asian. It's in everybody's household, right? Because in every family, regardless how, forward thinking you think you are, pick up that phone to that aunt. Pick up that phone to that uncle, to that grandfather. There is one in every family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, all of our episodes.
Leave my aunt out of this.
Not your aunt. All of our episodes are on wherever you stream music, man. Two guys doing a podcast.
Hey.
Deuces.
Hey, thanks for watching that video, man. One thing we need you to do, I need you to like, I need you to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and please drop a comment and join in on the conversation.
Absolutely. We are trying to get to our goal of 500 and beyond.
Sure.
As you can see, we are almost there. And that video, that little icon there, I need you to click on that, watch the next video, like, rinse, and repeat. Two guys doing a podcast. Deuces.